Welcome to the Astro Weekly Forecast for the week of October 25th to October 31st, Halloween. Oh my goodness, we are coming to the end of October already. So, as we start off this week, we are now in a waning moon cycle. The moon is losing in light, so it's the third quarter phase, and it's moving its way towards a new moon, which will happen next week. But Monday, October 25th, we're starting off the week actually on a pretty good day. Moon is going to be in Gemini, feeling very chatty and social. And there's also a lot of other aspects on this day to the moon that's making this a kind of a feel good day. So you're probably going to start off the week pretty good. But an aspect that's going to be in play for the whole week is happening exactly on Tuesday, October 26th. But this aspect's going to be in play from the 22nd to the 31st. And it's Venus, which is what we love and value, in Sagittarius, which is about upliftment and excitement, learning, connection, adventure, humor, fun, is squaring to Neptune in Pisces, and it is still retrograde. So this is a time of, this can feel like confusion, that the things that we love and value or the things that we want are kind of outside of our reach, or we can feel like we're being deceived, or we're not quite sure, what do we want, what don't we want. So this is not a good time to make big commitments. Number one, not a good time to say yes to marriage proposals, not a good time to sign big contracts at this time. Now we're still, Mercury is direct at this point, but it is still in shadow. And this aspect is kind of giving me confusion vibes that it's not a good time to make big decisions. Okay. So confusion in relationships and money. Don't invest or sign contracts. Travel papers. If you are doing anything where you're, booking flights or renting cars or any of that stuff, make sure you have your papers. I just got the download that someone's going to book a car and then they're going to go and there's going to be no car. If you've ever seen that Seinfeld episode where you have to take the reservation, but you don't hold the reservation, that's this aspect. That's this feeling of like someone has taken your money or given you reassurance that something's going to happen, and then you find out that it's not happening. That's that. All right, Wednesday, October 27th. This is a very sensitive day. There's no major aspects on this day, but the moon is opposite Pluto. It's squaring Mercury. This is head versus heart. We might be just feeling a little turned up this week as, with regards to that Venus square to Neptune as well. So this is just a good time to listen, to maybe be in creative mode, not actually be in doing mode, although we might want to be in doing because of all these planets and cardinal signs right now. This is just a time to listen. October 28th, we have Venus sextile to Jupiter. And this is a really lovely aspect where we're feeling very uplifted, positive, excited about relationships. Now, remember, because of that square to Neptune, we may feel like we're over optimistic about things and everyone is so good and these people are wonderful. Trust your intuition. If your intuition is saying something's not right about this person, but they're showing you a wonderful time right now, just be aware of that. But this can be a very jovial time. This is really good. Relationships get a boost of optimism. There are policies to support the community. That's kind of exciting because Jupiter is in Aquarius, which is about community, humanity, the greater good, if you will. And Venus is in Sagittarius, which is about the law. So it can be, there's, sort of these wonderful legal policies being put into place, or, laws being upheld to support the collective's rights in some way. There could be some constitutional challenges at this time as well. Friday, October 29th, which is my mama's birthday, Scorpio babies. This is a kind of erratic behavior today, erratic energy on this day. The moon is squared to Uranus. This can feel like you're feeling really tired, and that can go for this whole week, FYI. When the moon is losing light, we don't have a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, a lot of motivation, desires to do things. We almost are kind of like we're sort of winding down into a more hibernation type of cycle where we're not sort of in the doing, but more in the resting. So if you're feeling tired, honor that energy cycle and don't try to push past it. Just start to move your appointments around. Follow the moon cycle, especially if you are a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay. Or if you have Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces in other major aspects in your chart or in major signs like the sun, moon, or ascendant. So, really watching for that. If you don't know anything about astrology, you can contact me and I can help you with that, with a reading. All right, Saturday the 30th. This is a big day. Mars is moving into Scorpio. So that's bringing more of the Scorpio energy. What is Scorpio energy? Fixed water. So that is passionate, deep, introspective, investigation. It rules Pluto. Pluto is death, just death, rebirth, and transformation. So this is a time where Pluto, Mars, our motivation, desire, is moving into Scorpio. This is going to be a time to help us go deeper with our shadow, help us go deeper with the things that are holding us back. If you have these trauma patterns in your life or you feel like you're sabotaging, sabotage is actually safety boundaries or barriers that were put in place for yourself at a younger age when this was helpful. And it's now you've outgrown it, right? If you think about if you want to expand and do something that's bigger and puts you in the limelight, and if you had an incident when you were younger where you were seen and then you were bullied or you were beat up or being seen doesn't feel safe, now your safety boundaries are actually sabotaging you because you're like, I want to be bigger. And they're like, no, that's not safe. That's not safe. And so they're trying to keep you safe. And it's not a bad thing. It's just that you have to go back and heal this younger you that's holding this safety boundary for you, and to expand your capacity to then accept what it is that you want now. Not a bad thing. Just reparenting the inner child, really. So easy, right? So explore deeper levels of existence, motivated to confront the shadow, driven, focused, passionate. There's a desire for deeper emotional connection. We want to experience and understand these relationships at a deeper level now. So, superficiality, Scorpio don't like that. Right? Scorpio wants things that are really deep and meaningful. Try to have a surface conversation with a Scorpio. They are zoned out. They do not want that. They want deep. They want to find out why. Crime drama. So on this day as well, we have a sun square to Pluto, a sun square to Saturn, sorry. So Saturn is now direct in Aquarius, which is the collective, right? Being responsible for each other, for community. And this is, whenever I think of Saturn in Aquarius, I think of Medicare or social assistance, where we're putting together structures in government to catch those people that aren't able to really provide for themselves, or we're trying to raise the standard of living so that everyone can have a good life. And this square to the sun. Now, whenever you have something square, it is a conflict, difficult to integrate. It is a crisis. It's kind of pushing against each other, or the opposite. They're pulling against each other and they're never going to meet. So the sun is in Scorpio, and the sun is our vitality. It's our identity. It's how we're feeling as a collective. And so when we have these two planets, they're kind of squaring each other. This can be feeling very depressive, feeling very, we're overburdened by our responsibilities. And that's pretty much it. Tests and challenges, depression, pessimism, ego is suffering in this, restrictions, roadblocks, a test of your character. Strive to meet yourself in these moments. So this is about discipline, hard work, and commitment. And if you can do these things, responsibility, commitment, discipline, now you will see massive rewards in the future. So this is kind of this closing square. Now, what I love about astrology cycles, I'm going to go a little deeper on this one. And if you journal on dates, this is going to really help you to understand what is this bringing up for you and what this is bringing up for the collective, because it's quite interesting. That's why I love astrology, because these cycles are predictable. And so when we can predict what's going to happen, hello, don't we want that, right? Everyone comes to me as a psychic medium and tell me what my future is. And I was like, well, you're already in charge of your future. Your decisions are creating your future. You are already in momentum. And what I love about astrology is when we can start to see the cycles, we can start to see this seed was planted here. This is how it showed up here. The cycle, if you think about it, two planets coming together. This one is Saturn and the sun. Now, Saturn and the sun meet up once every year because the sun goes around the zodiac once every year, right? It'll meet up with Saturn. What happens is when the sun is now, because the sun moves much faster than Saturn does. So as the sun is coming around to square it, 90-degree angle, we call that the opening square. This is a challenge now. So when it came together, think of it as like a seed that was planted or like a new moon phase. And a seed was planted for responsibility back on January 23rd, 2020. That was when the sun and Saturn came together in Aquarius, I believe. Yeah, in Aquarius. And so that was sort of a seed was planted for collective, for community. Now here in Canada, we were in lockdown. And so this was kind of about like being responsible to the collective, right? We were trying to do the right thing, get COVID under control, all that kind of stuff. Now, as the sun came to square Saturn, this happened on May 3rd. So this was the opening square. So it's like, did we learn the lesson? And I believe at that time we were being kind of tasked with another wave was coming up. So this was kind of like, are we doing the right things for each other? Then as Saturn came, or the sun came to oppose Saturn, this is so interesting, was August 2nd, and it was in retrograde at this time. Saturn was retrograde. So what happens here, this is the opposition, and this is kind of like a challenge. Now, of course, here in Canada, well, here in Alberta specifically, our numbers were really, really low. And so we were open for the summer and all the restrictions were gone. All the restrictions were gone. And all the doctors were like, no, this is not good. Things are going to happen. This is not a good thing. And the government was like, screw you. Everything's we're good. We're open for the summer. And so what happened is, at that time, we were being tested. The opposition was like, are we able to still have some restrictions, even though our numbers were low? And the government said, no, it's fine, right? And all the doctors were like, no, don't do it, don't do it. And now, as we come back to the closing square, which is happening on October 30th, we are now facing the final challenge to this lesson. And what's happening the next day? It's Halloween, right? The kids here have not been able to go Halloweening. It's kind of a treasure. It's a thing that they love to do. My kids were really lamenting on how much they missed, Halloween. And if we are able to do the things that we're meant to do and come into the restrictions, which are kind of already in place at the time that I'm taping this, earlier in October, we may be able to bring the numbers down so that we can finally reap the rewards of this cycle and the kids can go out trick-or-treating and everybody is safer than when this started. So it's really interesting. Saturn will come back around again, or the sun will come back around again to be with Saturn again in January, I believe. I gotta look that up, but we'll go into a new Saturn cycle with the sun at that point. So this is going to bring up, did we learn the lesson? Right? Did we learn the lesson? That's why I love astrology, because it's got these predictable cycles. So this is a test, a challenge, patience, determination from, it could be, authority figures coming down. This is hard work. It can feel like rejection, isolation, sadness, or we can feel responsible, determined, wanting to do the right thing for the collective, whatever that might be from your perspective. Okay. The other thing that's happening on this day is Mercury is in conjunct Neptune. This makes for propaganda, misinformation, misunderstandings between people. We're not quite hearing each other. This is a really great thing to listen and actively listen, test for understanding. Did I hear you right with that? And continue to sit in the seat of the soul and emanate love, right? We all want the same things to come through this together. I keep saying that on every video. I just hope that it lands somewhere, that, our fellow brothers and sisters out there in the world that are trying to navigate this as best they can, they are smart, they are trying to do the best thing for themselves, and nobody is trying to screw up or die, right? Everyone wants to live. Everyone wants to be smart. So just have that. So any propaganda or anything that people are, nothing's making sense, or use logic. I'm just going to say, and sometimes even logic fails. Just use logic, sit in the seat of the soul and see what would your spirit say. All right. And then Sunday, October 31st is Halloween. And if you don't celebrate Halloween, ain't too bad. It's a really fun time, right? It's really the ultimate in like the shadow coming up and the scary for us to see it for what it is, which is fun. There's nothing scary about it. So this is, you know what, actually a pretty good day. Everything is forward except for Uranus and Neptune. All the planets are moving forward. There's this Scorpio energy with the sun and Mars, sorry. And there's a jovial atmosphere. There's really nice aspects on this day. So this could be a really good day for a little bit of upliftment of some kind. And I hope that we as a collective can heal whatever this is so that the kids can go out and trick or treat and dress up and have some merriment back, some of the old tradition back again. So wishing you a wonderful week ahead. Thank you for watching. And if there's something that you really liked about this forecast, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to do more of it. And I just appreciate your comments and support. Have the best week ahead.